Aim High Live. I've just been reading about dinosaurs, so that's why I'm a minute late. I've just been reading about dinosaurs the whole time. So yeah, thanks so much for coming. If this is your first time, then welcome. And you can ask questions whenever you like. If you are watching on, oh, I'll turn it off. If you are watching on Facebook, then you won't be able to see almost all of the things that people are saying. So do come to the website if you want to see what everyone else is saying in the chat. And also, if you're watching on my Facebook, then yeah, you need to go here if you're going to see all the other things, because I'm only doing a small slice of what's going on. But anyway, yes. So thanks for joining. Today it's going to be about, are dinosaurs overrated? Woo! And in fact, just to kick us off, if everyone could just, I just want to see what people think. So I've done a little poll. So if you just fill in this that I've just sent you all, and meanwhile I'll just say hi to people. Oh, Maddie's here, Jeff is here, Get Out the Freezer's here, Mia's is here, Phoebe is here, and Maddie Hay is here, Japan Maple, Rebecca Carmen, thanks so much for coming, guys. Vendible Sugar, all so many recognisable names. So yes, do that poll and let's see what the result is. I'm gonna get the results live coming in if you guys fill this in. Almost everyone has said no. The results are still coming in live from the poll, so do fill it in if you haven't already. But we're pretty much on the yeses. Oops, that's not how you spell yes. The yeses have got about 18%, and the no's are cracking on with a cheeky. Oh god, they've gone up. The no's have gone up to 83%. Well, let's put it as 82%. Okay, so the feeling here is the dinosaurs are not overrated. And I get that. You know, I know that obviously people are going to have their own feelings on this. I'm just going to keep that over the top. There we go. So, okay, right. So clearly people don't think dinosaurs are overrated. So before we crack on, I think I might have showed this picture before, but maybe not. Does anyone know anything about this? This is called a pichia worm. Pichia worm. Does anyone know why it is that I might be bringing this into the story of dinosaurs being overrated? Has anyone ever heard of a pichia worm before? What's the point of a pichia worm? Why is the pichia worm so badly dressed when it's in front of such a significant audience as our own? Surely it needs at least a hat and a belt to keep its trousers up. Yeah, let me know. Such a bad belt. Tarek is saying that worms are overrated. Nah, mate, worms is not overrated. And Japan Maple is saying maybe it's an ancestor. Miz is saying grandfather worm. Get Out of the Freezer is saying worm dad. Okay, so yeah, a pichia worm is one of our ancestors. It's a human ancestor. So if you go far enough back in time and you keep repeating great 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 grandparent over and over again, great times lots of times, grandparent, then you'll get to a pichia worm. So respect your elders. But the dinosaurs are not so similar in that we have not descended from the dinosaurs. But I mean, okay, I'm gonna let you have it quite early on. I think dinosaurs are a bit overrated. I mean, don't get me wrong, like dinosaurs are great. They are great. But I just think so much attention goes to the dinosaurs when there's so much other interesting life. So if you were to map out all of I'm just going to do this really, really approximately. I've got this written on the wall in the other room, which is annoying because I've got all the numbers on there. I should have grabbed it in time. But anyway, I'll just do it approximately for now. If you map out all of life, so this is the beginning of life. Life begins. And this is now on the other side. Life begins. And here is now. Then how far along here do you guys reckon humans came about? When did humans arrive? What do you guys reckon? What kind of percentage of the way along did humans arrive? Kieran saying, I'm sorry I'm late and dinosaurs aren't overrated and I'm willing to debate this. There are 3 Maddies now. This is going to be a steamy debate. Maddie, Real Joe 04 is back. Everyone is using caps locks. Okay, so people are saying about 3 centimeters is what I'm hearing. Maybe 88%, maybe 75% of the way from life beginning is when humans arrived. I'm seeing like last 0.5%. Jeff's saying like 0.000%. Jeff, that's 0%. But I see what you mean. Okay, so humans arrived around here. About 200,000 years ago. It was the first Homo sapiens 200,000 years ago. Now, so basically, humans are really, really recent. Now, in comparison, your dinosaurs are more like, we've done 200,000 years where they cracked on with a solid 60 million years or so. Oh, in fact, sorry, that's too close. Dinosaurs managed a solid 60 million years or so. So they had a good innings. The dinosaurs had a really good innings. Chapman's put a 1 in there somewhere. But the reason why, okay, it's weird to say that dinosaurs are overrated, because it's not that they're overrated. It's just that what I like to think about is that there is so much other life going on in all of this space that does not get like an entire museum dedicated to it, and yet it's so interesting. Anyway, before I go into that, I just want to go over here to this Stegosaurus. So Stegosaurus is from the past. Shame, because it would be nice to ride down its tail like a slide. Fun and safety at the beginning through the railings, but then progressively more dangerous as you slide through the spikes. But it's a journey. The stag, what a chunky boy. So here's a question for you: Who, if you were to arrange, so let's do another like timeline. So here's a timeline, and I'm going to put now here. If this is now, and this is the steg, so this is the Stegosaurus, whereabouts do you guys reckon T-Rex existed? So if Stegosaurus was around for this kind of period, where do you guys think T-Rex was? What proportion of the way along? So is it like 25%, 50%, 75%, 99%? How far along do you reckon the T-Rex would be in this timeline? Time. Kieran's saying 75, Jeff's saying 80. Gellaf Reeser's thinking 20. This is massive spread here. Okay, it would be about, and again, these are all approximate, but a T-Rex would be around here. So the point being that T-Rex is closer in time to us than it was to Stegosaurus. But the reason I tell you this is just to kind of give you an idea of like, whoa, the dinosaurs were around for a hugely long period of time. There's a similar thing that I think I've put in one of my videos about Cleopatra. So Cleopatra was the last pharaoh of the Egyptians, and she is closer in time to us than she was to the building of the Great Pyramid of Giza. So, I mean, for her, the Great Pyramid must have been this ridiculously ancient thing, because for us, it's ancient. But even for her, it was incredibly ancient. And people keep insisting on me dressing these things better. So what I will do is I'll give the Great Pyramid a tie, since it's got a very important meeting today to go to. Anyway, so right, where was I going with this? I wanted to go down here. Oh, here we go. Right, so this is a great illustration of a cool mammal that was around at the time of the dinosaurs. in fact, these are both mammals. These are both kind of prehistoric mammals. Has anyone ever seen this before? It's like a giraffe rhino. That's such a good thought. Does anyone know what this thing is called? Million points for anyone who knows what it's called, because it's got the most ridiculous name. But do have a go. But for anyone joining late, thanks so much for coming. This is a Name High Live, so you can ask questions whenever you want. This one's about science. This one's about dinosaurs. I'm going to talk about a variety of things to do with dinosaurs. If you were late doing the poll about whether dinosaurs are overrated or not, then it's still not too late to fill in your thoughts, and you can fill them in here. Throw them in if you want to affect the poll. Yes, so do ask questions whenever you want. And if you're watching on Facebook, then do remember that you can't see 95% or 99% of the chat that's going on, because all of it is going on here. But if you watch it on here, then you'll see all the chat, including Facebook. So switch to there if you want the full experience. Okay, so long necks for us is a good shout. But no, I'll tell you what its name is. It's got the craziest name. I wrote it down because I'm too dyslexic to be able to remember things like this. It's called Indirocotherium. Therium. It's got therium on the end. So I've also think I've written that in a really, really bad colour. But anyway, that's the name of this thing, and that's how it introduced itself. This is a mammal, and that means what? So what are the things? What are the things that mammals have that dinosaurs don't have? So what are the things that mammals have that dinosaurs didn't have? Long name for long boy. Exactly right, Japan Maple. One of the things that mammals have that dinosaurs don't. And also, how tall is this long boy? What do you guys reckon? How tall is it? And if you were going to weigh it on a big set of scales, so if you were to get big set of scales, wrap it around, obviously over here you've got a mammoth over there. Oh, let's get the set of scales going like this. Over here you've got a mammoth, but if you shrink this down so it's not a mammoth, but instead it's an elephant, how many elephants worth do you reckon this Indirocotherium, I'm so bad at pronouncing things, how much do you reckon it would weigh? How many elephants, how tall it is, and what did mammals have that dinosaurs don't? Rebecca Carmen's saying 25 meters, which would be unreal. It's not 25 meters tall. 12 meters, 12 feet. Okay, Maddie is saying 12 feet. I'm just going to translate that 12 feet into so 12 feet is about four-ish meters, which is pretty good. I'm seeing some 3 centimeters further up, but I think that was from guesses from the other thing. It's not 3 centimeters. It's 5.5 meters tall, and it would weigh about 4 elephants. So you get about four elephants that you could compare to this thing. Anyway, this is the kind of creature that just does not get enough credit, because the dinosaurs, great as they are getting all the credit. Now, I was kind of thinking that it would be cool to use this as an opportunity to show you just some other interesting bits of life that are around now and have been around. Because that kind of, for me, is the story of this one, is like, there is so much interesting life out there. And we focus a lot on the dinosaurs because they're kind of big and they capture the imagination. But there's so much cool stuff going on, all the way from hydrothermal vents at the bottom of the sea where everything's living off sulfur, through to what I'm about to show you in a moment. But before I do, I just thought I'd go back to these dinosaurs. Well, I'll go back to Stegosaurus. And in fact, I wanted so if we're going to think about the Stegosaurus's eyes, but I've just realised I haven't. Kieran's done a great answer about the difference between dinosaurs and mammals. So mammals have hair. They have 3 middle ear bones. Great knowledge. And a neocortex, so different kind of brain, and also mammary glands. So mammals will also produce milk and also give birth to live young. with the platypus and the echidna as an exception. Great answer. So yeah, when dinosaurs gave birth, they would lay nice big dinosaur eggs. Imagine eating a dinosaur egg. That's the dinosaur egg falling to the floor and bouncing merrily along. Imagine eating a dinosaur egg. That'd be so much food. Anyway, yes, they must have had to eat. I guess if they're producing eggs, then they must have had to eat quite a lot of like seashells and calcium and stuff. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but if you've ever like spent time around chickens or then you'll notice that they eat a lot of grit. They eat a lot of grit on the floor, which is giving them lots of calcium carbonate, because they need lots of calcium carbonate so that they can make the shells for their eggs. And dinosaurs I never thought of that before, but dinosaurs must have spent a lot of time like chewing away at the grit in the ground. Okay, anyway, so now that we've talked about the difference between mammals and dinosaurs, another thing is what we can see. So it's thought that dinosaurs saw a little bit differently, and I made a video about this another time that people might have already seen. But if you showed a beautiful painting to this dinosaur, and you just held the painting there, then what do you think the dinosaur would see? So I'm just make a nice painting for the dinosaur to be gazing upon. So if the dinosaur is gazing upon this painting, then what would it see? And Maddie's asking if you could fit a dinosaur egg in a frying pan. You need to get a special frying pan, like a big old wok. Kieran's talking about how dinosaurs had extremely small brains because they only needed to remember what to eat, what not to eat, and what to avoid. Yeah, so it's thought that there were some dinosaurs that were a lot more intelligent. So maybe you're talking about, in fact, maybe Kieran's talking about Stegosaurus there having a really small brain, because there are a lot of dinosaurs that did have much larger brains. And T-Rex as well had such a hugely developed sense of smell. Like T-Rex's sense of smell is, we think, is possibly incomparable to anything even alive now. Okay, Oliver's saying maybe just a blank frame. And Japan's saying can see the wiggle. It sounds like quite a few of you have seen the video that I've made. Stegs have really small heads. So yeah, okay, so some of you already know this. It's thought that dinosaurs could only see things that were moving. So you might have noticed when you're like staring into like a crowded scene that your brain is much better at picking up things that are moving. However, we can also see stuff that is still. So we can see a painting and we can look at it and we can admire it. But a dinosaur, it's thought, could only see things that were moving. Now, it's also thought that our eyes can only really see things that are moving, but that our muscles create a constant jiggle, moving our eyes slightly so that effectively our vision is constantly moving, but then our brain corrects for the jiggle. And yeah, this is something that I made another video about do dinosaurs see the same as us or something? I can't remember the exact name, but you can find out more about that on my videos if you want. Have you ever noticed, question, what kind of shapes do you reckon your eyes are best at seeing in a crowded scene? There is one shape in particular that human eyes are very, very good at seeing. I think I mentioned this on a live a few weeks ago. What shape are human eyes very, very good at seeing? Tirawawa's imagining eyes wiggling around in their head. Yeah, they do wiggle like a tiny little bit. So Utah Jazz is saying, are we good at seeing faces? And Utah Jazz, you're right that like faces is one of the things that our minds are quite good at focusing on. We process faces in such a weird way, which is why it's really difficult for us to learn to paint them, because, you know, we all process, you can learn a lot from how a child, or me, draws a face. We draw them like this, right? And we have big eyes because it's reflecting our psychology of the face. So we see the face and the eyes are the most important thing. And next, most important, is the mouth. And our psychology will take the small, subtle movements of a human's mouth and will turn it into big movements in our mind. And so a child's drawing of a face tells you a huge amount about what is actually important about a face to us. And so you have to learn to ignore the fact that your brain is prioritizing the eyes and the mouth when you're trying to draw a face so that you can actually focus on the physical lines that are there. Okay, but what did anyone else say anything? So ovals, real Maddie, sorry, said circles. Sean on Toast is saying red shapes, which is a great thought. Yeah, our eyes are extremely good at seeing the color red, which is why it's so intense to us, even though it's a very low energy color. And Oliver's coming straight with the right answer, which is snake shapes. Our eyes are incredibly good at recognizing the shapes of snakes. Anyway, right, I'm going to show you two other things now. Sorry, this live is kind of going in different places. I wanted to really quickly show this because I feel like some people were missing yesterday who are here today, but I just wanted to very quickly say what this is because it's such a cool picture. This is a place in Gabon, which is in the kind of bottom left of Africa, and so, or in other words, the southwest. Sorry, I'm not very good at souths and wests and whatnot. Yeah, Gabon is in the kind of bottom left of Africa. This is a nuclear reaction that was going on, a nuclear fission reaction that was going on many millions of years ago. And it was also prehistoric. So whilst it's not necessarily in the same category as the dinosaurs, it's cool to know, it's really weird to know that there was a nuclear reaction that went on long ago in history and lasted for tens to hundreds of thousands of years, just slowly kind of releasing its waste products and casting out all its nuclear waste into the ground. It just set itself up completely naturally. Anyway, I just wanted to tell people that just in case they'd missed it yesterday, before I show you this natural nuclear reactor. People are talking about a rock, Jurassic. Yeah, it's kind of like a Jurassic Chernobyl. Okay, so yeah, the Flintstones had some serious nuclear power. I heard that is the what are they called? The production company that make the Flintstones, Hanna-Barbera. The most common question they get from anyone when people are just like writing them in messages is, what's Fred's job? Is it Fred Flint? No, Barney. What's Barney's job? Nobody knows what his job is. Anyway, right. So I want to show you this other thing because I know that I know that dinosaurs are great, but this is kind of about how there are loads of other cool kinds of life. Now I met this girl called Sally a few months ago now. And she does this amazing series online. It's on Instagram about life that exists in. She used to live in New York. She's moved over to Cambridge now. But like she used to do this this series. She's still doing this series about life in ponds. And she basically shows this incredible diagram about all of the different kinds of life that exists. And she does it as kind of like a pie chart almost of how many species there are. And she shows us that like plants is this narrow. And that all of the animals that we know of are like this narrow. And that all of the fungi we know about are like this narrow. And she completely blows your mind with this. And then she starts talking about, but wait a second, like, what are these huge categories of stuff that we're just like, that's just completely missing, that has all these different species that people don't spend anywhere near as much time talking about. And there's one in particular that I wanted to show you, which is this group of categories called Ciliates. Now, who knows? So this is one of the things that you will either have learned in the past or will learn eventually. This is like one of the things that's very much on your school syllabuses. What are cilia? What are cilia? Where do you find them? What are they all about? What are cilia? Okay, Miz saying about silly things. Maddie's saying they vibrate. I saw people talking about in guts, your intestine, your throat. Yes, brilliant. Okay, so, protostones and eukaryotic cells. Okay, you guys might be ahead of me. Okay, so I'm gonna let me shift across and find somewhere with a bit more space because I'm overloading this with loads of stuff. Let's just go up here. Here's a bit of space. So cilia are little hairs that exist in your body that will beat in order to move something along. So a particular place where you'll find them is in the tubes that head down into your lungs. And so the lining of these tubes is covered in sticky mucus, and some of you will already know this. So the lining of these tubes is covered in this sticky mucus that all the bacteria and stuff stick to and get stuck in and can't move when they're trying to travel into your lungs. And then these little hairs, will beat backwards and forwards and push the mucus up and out of your lungs, whichever way it needs to go to get out. So cilia are basically these little hairs that beat around. Now, Sally showed me this incredible video. I'm just going to show you. I just took a video of her like doing a presentation about it in this thing I went to, of single-celled organisms. So these are just like one cell by themselves. So like millions of times smaller than anything else like that's a normal size that would have legs. And yet, even though it's a single cell, so completely microscopic, these things have legs. Wait, let me make this bigger. But they're not really legs, and she did say this quite a lot. They're cilia. I hope you guys are going to be able to see this. Let me play it. So you can see like moving along these rods, which are also simple cells. So these rods exist inside ponds, and they've got a spirally name because they have this like spiraling structure. But you can see running up and down these like highways of other living things, you've got these ciliates, which are literally single cells, so they don't have a proper brain, they're not properly thinking, and yet they have these little cilia that make it look like they're moving around like tiny beetles, and yet they're millions of times smaller than beetles. And, you know, dinosaurs aren't overrated, but these are definitely underrated, this kind of life. And yeah, okay, so Japan Mabel saying I'd love to go down that slide. Yeah, but it would not compare to the Stegosaurus slide. Anyway, right, I'm going to wrap up now because we've got... because there's something quite exciting happening with Aim High, and we might be able to help to get it to a lot of refugee communities as well. And there's a call coming up in about 2 minutes that I'm keen to go on. So I'm gonna finish totally on time. And thanks so much for coming. Thanks for getting involved. Do spread the word about what we're doing, and do, if you haven't already, follow us on our socials. That's Aim High Live. And do spread the word. And if you're watching on Facebook as well, get over to the website because you'll get a much better experience. And here is what's coming up next. This is quite important because something's changed. Hannah's not doing her live later on today, so it's going to be tomorrow. Hannah's doing hers at 4 o'clock tomorrow. So tomorrow we've got Do Good Friends Exist from Nish, Why Violence Isn't As Bad As You've Been Told from Phil, and Are Different Cultures Becoming Extinct from Hannah. And then I'm going to keep going with my high school physics on Friday. And then next week, these are the things that's coming up. We're going to have our first inspiring guest. Oh my God, that guy is so cool. But I'll tell you more about him later on. Thank you all for coming, and I will see you all. I enjoyed my stay. Thanks, Nidex. Yeah, thanks. Oh, this is such a good group. I'm really enjoying this. Yes, do keep spreading the word. Farewell all. Bye-bye.